Okay, now I'm going to go along with part 3. We just finished part 2. After that, ace king hand. I doubled up, have a pretty good stack, and let's keep going. So basically, I'm playing pretty good up to this point, I think. Except for those nines, flatting, and like. Um, so now I got a pretty good stack. I should start, using it to my advantage. Instead, I open with a mediocre hand, which I don't like. I get min raised over here by this guy. Big blind comes along, so now I'm priced in. Might as well call. Try to hit a good flop. It's a pretty good pot, 13,000 chip pot. I hit nothing. There's no point of betting out at it. So I just check. Original raiser. Bets. Then this guy shoves and folds. Yeah, shouldn't be opening things like that. Very next hand, I get sevens. Comes around, I open up 2,700, and I get folds. I would have called this big blinds all in, along with. That's probably it. But no calls. Now I got sixes in the big blind. Early position, min raise. So this is a really tough spot. What to do here? I recognize this name. This guy's pretty good. He's a reg, so he kind of knows what he's doing. I play with him apparently at another table. Yeah, he's pretty solid. A shove here probably isn't necessary. I don't need to lose a third of my stack on maybe a flip, or just could be dominated. So I definitely don't want to shove. Again, the same problem with the nines, flatting. I'm out of position. I'm just looking to set mine, really. Or fold. I mean, fold seems very weak just because it's a min raise. I do have a pocket pair. So, I choose to call. Not terrible. So, not the best looking flop, but not terrible. So he leads out. Now he's gonna lead out at really big range of hands with that kind of flop. Almost any two cards that he raises with, he's gonna continue there. So I can't give him that much credit for that, and I decide to call. A raise there is not terrible. A nice check raise. It'll really let me see where I'm at. The only problem is, if I do re-raise, to 6,000 or something, he shoves for another 14, 15, then I gotta fold it. I don't want to do that. Yeah, the cold sucks, kind of. I'm out of position too. If I'm in position and he does that, I'm in a much better spot. Then, I can see what he does on the turn. If he checks the turn after that, that's usually a sign of weakness. He doesn't have an ace, and I could, get him off it. But, in this being out of position here, this call kind of sucks. So now the king comes on the turn. See, now I can't lead out. I don't really know if he was c-betting just to c-bet or if he has, maybe an ace. So I really don't know if I can just lead out. So I check again, and he checks. So that tells me it probably doesn't have an ace. Might have caught the king and has showdown value now. So he's, checks the turn. Now the question is, do I feel like putting a bet out on the river. Let's see what the river is. That's another king. Yeah, I could throw a bet out here. Get him off his mid pairs, his nines. You know, any pairs, nines, tens, jacks, eights, sevens, fives. They're all folding here, I think. Or he could stay stubborn with, his jacks and tens, nines, eights, sevens. But, I can pretty much assume he doesn't have an ace here. He doesn't check the turn with an ace. Question is, how good can I represent an ace or a king? I can't really represent it either. So I check, he checks, and he has sevens. Yeah, pretty shitty pot. I don't really think there's much else I could have done. If I want to get, ballsy with it and start throwing barrels out there, I could have. I probably do get him off with some aggression there. It's another thing I gotta work on is being more aggressive with my hands. So, I got ace jack suited. I got this guy to shove. He has less than 10 blinds. Yeah, I should probably just shove behind here. I called. This is a really big mistake by me, I think. I think that's just a shove behind. That's a fifth of my stack. I just gave up. Yeah, I guess he does have queens, and that's shitty. But I'm in a late enough position. I mean, I guess I kind of want to be on the button or on the cutoff if I am going to shove behind, because there are, a decent amount of people that act ahead of me, but I think I have to shove that. It's a fifth of my stack I just lost. Not smart. So now I'm not looking that great. Blinds are 6-12. I get threes on the big blind. A re-raise here I think is the best. Make it 10,000 or so. It's a late position raise. Yeah, re-raise here would be a really good spot. I don't really know much about this guy, though, how active he is. But, yeah, re-raise would have been really nice here. He probably folds a good percentage of the time. And again, I just call. I really don't like the calling business I'm doing. It's not profitable. I get in these tough spots. He c-bets. Again, my threes are pretty good on this board. So if anything, I should just be raising. The only problem is he's probably calling with his pocket pair range, pocket pairs, sevens and eights plus. I call. The 8 comes on the turn. I lead out. Hold on, now it's going too fast. After the 8 comes is when I lead out. I don't know why I do that. I don't know what I'm trying to represent. Maybe a queen. I don't know how good that is. $14,000. I bet 59. Alright, after he calls, I gotta put him on some kind of either pair of twos, eights, flush draw. Shitty river. I could lead out again, though. I mean, if I'm gonna lead out on the turn, I probably should lead out on the river. If I check now, it just makes my hand look really weak. Pretty poorly played now. Yeah, now I just check it. And he happened to catch that 8. Pretty crappy. Yeah, I misplayed this on a lot of streets. Starting with the flop when I should have re-raised. Flop, could have check raised. because my hand is pretty good, and any overcard kind of, is a bad card for me. There's not too many cards on the turn river that are going to help me, and my hand is pretty good at this point, so I should be check raising and starting to be aggressive. Unfortunate that he just happened to catch that 8. That was just shitty. But it was big pot. Gotta play these types of hands better. Definitely not good. So now I'm back to my 30,000 chip stack. Lost about half of it in those misplayed hands. Get ace king. I get a call, hit a monster flop. Not a bad idea to check this behind. This is just such a strong flop for me. I wish I checked this behind. But I lead out and take it down. Here we got 10s, early position. We're going to raise to 35. We're going to get re-raised by the same guy who's been the jack 8 and calling me with my ace king. This is really good hand against this guy's re-raising range. I should just get it in here. That's 9s and 8s, lower pairs, very often. I think he's doing that with almost any pair above maybe 3s. I think he's doing that pretty wide, and of course his big cards. So I should just shove there. I don't like this call at all. It's miserable. Decent flop. I don't know how many jacks are in his range. He just shoves though, and I'm forced to fold. I think that is a fold though. That's jack queen, king jack, a lot. Even if it's ace queen, he has 2 overs. My best bet is to just shove it pre. Played it very passively and paid for it on the flop. I just gotta get it in. Unless he just happened to have a big pair. Aces, kings, queens or something. But I think the right move there is to get it in pre. Alright, I'm gonna stop this and then I'll probably finish off on the next part.